Hello, namaste, and welcome to yoga number 67. As always, we'll start with the opening quote, which is from an unknown source. Happiness is making a bouquet of those flowers within reach. Happiness is making a bouquet of those flowers within reach. If you'd like to lie down in Shavasana, we'll go back to basics today, basic breathing. So remember Shavasana, it's floppy feet, which releases the upper leg muscles. Palms are facing upwards, slightly away from the torso. Check that your chin is not painting the ceiling. So find a comfortable place for the back of your head. And just take the left shoulder and gently lift it up and roll it back down. Do the same with the right. Lift it up and just ease it back down on the floor. And if you take that space in your lower back, the natural curve, the lordosis, and just apply a little bit of pressure as you try to flatten the lower back onto the ground, and then gently release. Do that a couple more times. Just take the lower back, ease it onto the ground, not aggressively, and release. Just allow the body to breathe naturally. We're going to go back to basics with the breathing process, the three-part yogic breath. So if we take our right hand and place it on our abdomen, just to bring awareness and emphasis to the movement. And we're going to inhale and we're just going to inflate the abdomen. So as we inhale, we're exaggerating the movement as we forcefully inflate the abdomen. Wait for your natural pause. And gently exhale. Again, you wait for your pause. And we're just taking the breath in enough to inflate the abdomen. So the abdomen is rising with inhalation. Falling with the exhalation after your natural pause. So the right hand in the abdomen is just to bring awareness, help to bring awareness to what's happening. Just enough to inflate the abdomen. Totally relax and release and surrender your body weight onto the mat after you exhale. Now we change our focus to the rib cage. So we take both hands, place our fingers gently touching on top of the rib cage. And we forget about the abdomen. And we're going to inhale and just try and expand the rib cage. So the fingers may separate, a space may appear between the tip of the fingers. As you inhale, and you're exaggerating the movement so you get a nice pool of the muscles, the intercostal muscles between the ribs. And then as you exhale after your natural pause, the fingers will come closer together again. They may move or they may not. It depends on the flexibility of your rib cage. I'm just trying to show you what happens with the sequence of the breathing. So you may feel a little bit of stretching in the mid-back, around the front, as the muscles between the ribs get a little bit of a workout. Because remember, we are exaggerating the movement. As you exhale, the fingertips come back to touch. Three more of these. Remember, you're focusing on your natural pause and you're totally releasing after the exhalation. Oxygenating the blood, cleansing the lungs, calming the nervous system. So now we take the awareness away from the rib cage and we take our left hand and place it just below the throat. And we just take in enough air to allow this to gently rise. So it's barely a puff of air. So try that. So you're not inflating the abdomen, you're not expanding the rib cage, just enough air to fill the upper chest. It's barely a puff. So you get the idea of how little it is. This is shallow breathing. I see a lot of people just taking in barely enough air to keep them alive. So there's not enough air to inflate the abdomen, expand the rib cage, fill up the lungs. So if you just relax, and now we'll combine these three breaths. Of course, it's one breath, but three sections. So the full yogic breath, as we inhale, the abdomen inflates. As the air begins to fill up the lungs, the rib cage expands. And then you get your final puff of air at the top. Wait for your natural pause. That's very important. So you're not holding it in, you're allowing the breath to remain in the body. And then when you get that signal, gently release and exhale. Again, you wait. This is where you totally release. As you release the breath, you release any tension, any worries or woes or stresses or imaginary insurmountable challenges. So just continue in your own time, a few full, slow yogic breaths. Perhaps as you exhale and release, you may want to smile. The reason I mention that is because I just did, involuntarily. So you can continue just doing the full yogic breath, or if you want to add another dimension, we can apply the anal lock, the mula bandha. So bandha is just a lock, an area you close within the body to retain energy in the deeper practices of pranayama. But in a more physical plane, it helps to contract and release the organs in the lower body. So we're focusing on our sphincter, anal lock. So as we inhale, we tighten the sphincter. So we close the bottom, but you're still allowing the abdomen to inflate, the rib cage to expand, and a puff of air at the top. You're still holding the mula bandha, and after the natural pause, you release the lock, exhale. So inhale, apply the lock, tighten. So with practice, you'll be able to focus on the lock just at the anus muscle. But it takes a bit of practice to keep the abdominal muscles free as well. This gives a vast amount of energy, as well as contracting and releasing the plumbing mechanisms in your pelvis. Nice and slow. Filling the body up with prana. Perhaps you may begin to feel some warmth or some tingling or some lightness. So we can add another level. So you inhale, you apply the lock, inhale. Inflate the abdomen, expand the rib cage. Final puff of air in the top. Wait for your natural pause. Still holding the lock. When you're ready to exhale, release the anal lock. Exhale and gently pull the abdomen back towards the spine, which again is a strong workout for the abdominals. And relax. You can take a normal breath in between this process. So you can have one breath applying the anal lock and the stomach retraction, and one breath without until you build up the muscle control. So you gently apply the lock, inhale, full yogic breath. When you're ready to release the lock, exhale, pull the stomach back. There's one final addition you can do, only if you wish, because this can be quite tiring if you've never done it before for the muscles. You're asking them to work in a way you haven't probably done before. So inhale, apply the lock. Inflate, expand, fill up the lungs. Release the lock. Exhale, pull the abdomen back towards the spine. And if you wish, you can then try and pull these muscles up behind your rib cage, but gently, because it's very strong. And you'll feel a lovely pull and contraction and massage in this lower area. So it's anal lock, and then with the exhalation, stomach retraction, and then the pull up behind the rib cage, Uddiyana Bandha, it's classed as another lock. You can research these definitions, these locks in your own time. It's just a way to trap prana within the body and move it about accordingly. But it also gives a wonderful massage, compression and release to the organs within the body. Gives a vast amount of energy. Of course, it's a good way to build up the abdominal muscles. So 3 more of these in your own time. And just lie and allow the body to breathe naturally. Perhaps you can feel the warmth, the tingling. the circulation. Again, if you have any problems, if you have any, for example, hemorrhoids, this is a wonderful way to get rid of them. You push the hemorrhoid back in the shower, and then you come and do anal lock, which squeezes and releases, and gets rid of the buildup of blood. You must never believe anything I say, but try out the practices. If they work, use them. If they don't, ignore them. So just allow the body to breathe naturally and smile. And think how in your present situation in life, you can make a beautiful bouquet of flowers of the ones within reach. So now take the soles of your feet together, allow the knees to flop out to the side. And we've done this one many times. We're placing our palms together, with the fingers pointing down in the groin. And we're going to bend at the wrists and then trace our thumbs up over our torso as you inhale, up over the face, over the back of the head, onto the ground. And you're elongating the body, a lovely long stretch. And you're with the full yogic breath. And then as you exhale, you sweep out with the hands and relax. So if you think what you're doing, we're filling up the lungs completely with a full yogic breath, but we're getting a lovely stretch through the torso. You can feel the intercostals being stretched. You can feel the lower back is arching a little. You're lifting up through the shoulders. And this is a wonderful position to then stretch out to the side. Exhale, relax and release. And if you think this is almost effortless, it's not load bearing. So you're using minimal energy for maximum return. You're cleansing the body at a cellular level just by lying flat and breathing deeply and doing this gentle stretch. So anytime you come back from work or you come back from a stressful situation, you can lie down and recalibrate, re-energize and cleanse. You always have this option, always. Sometimes it's too easy to put on the TV or the computer or go to the fridge. Remember, you're waiting for your natural pause as you get this full stretch. And remember, as you stretch out, you're stretching from the shoulders to the elbows, elbows to the wrists, wrists to the fingers. So a couple more. You're keeping your arms straight, you're bending at the wrists first, which gives a lovely flexion. If you've got a job where you're typing all day, this just helps to put your joints in a different position. You may get a little bit of snap, crackle, and pop, but as long as you're breathing deeply and moving slowly, you're less likely to damage your body. So you're oxygenating the blood. You're cleansing out the lower lobes in the lungs, the alveoli, and you're calming the nervous system. Trying to bring homeostatic balance back into the body. So take your knees now, lift them up. We've now got the soles of our feet on the ground next to our seat. And we're going to do simple sit-ups, but to protect the lower back. So you've worked on the abdominal muscles by pulling them back and pulling them up. So our hands are on our thighs. We're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to look up and lift up and slide the hands up the legs to wherever they get to. It doesn't matter how far. You can hold for a few breaths, or you can just exhale as you come up. Inhale as you slowly lower down. So this will work on your abdominals whilst protecting the lower back because the legs are bent. Inhale before you start. Exhale as you tuck the chin in, look towards your knees, and slowly come up with the hands. It doesn't matter how far you get. You can take a comfort breath in between. Helps reduce the buildup of lactic acid in the abdominal muscles. Remember, don't get caught up in how far you can lift the hands up, as long as you're contracting at some level. Three more in your own time. So you can come up and down, or you can stay up and have a few breaths holding. So keeping the feet at the seat. Take the feet a little bit closer to the seat. Palms down the side of the body. And we're just going to lift the seat. Not so high, just lift it up to the first point of resistance. And check that your feet are parallel. And just take them in a little bit closer. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise the seat, and you'll find that you get a strong contraction in the thigh muscles. And you get a contraction of the gluteals. So we're not bothered about lifting up aggressively. We're just coming up to the first point where you feel that contraction. Raise the arms, stretch them out behind you. So we're inhaling, stretching, elongating the body again, and then just gently lifting through the seat. Now, if you find that's a strong enough contraction for the thigh muscles and gluteals, then you keep the feet where they are. But if you want slightly stronger, take the feet more under your seat, and you'll find that you won't be able to lift the body up as far, but you get a stronger contraction through the thighs and the gluteals, hardly with any effort. So you're barely lifting the seat, and you're getting a lovely contraction through the thigh muscles and gluteals. And don't forget the stretch through the arms. So we inhale, stretch through the arms. And as I say, I'm not looking for a strong lift, just enough to feel that the legs and the gluteals are getting a workout. And relax, and you just ease back. I'm not even wanting you to lower the seat right down to the ground. You just take a little bit off the stretch to relax, and then inhale, stretch and lift. And that's enough to give a wonderful workout without half killing yourself. If you feel you want slightly stronger, then if you can, you just edge the feet closer. And again, you'll feel right away the difference. Inhale, stretch, full yogic breath. Exhale, relax. It's a lovely stretch and contraction. Of course, if you want to be stronger, you can concentrate on one leg and lift the other leg. I've no desire to do that today, which will help with balance and strengthening. But you get the idea. So a couple more. You're trying to keep your feet parallel, trying to keep the movement symmetrical. You can feel the pull on the muscles under the patella, the knee bone. And then release the arms and gently lower them down. You may not get the bottom right onto the ground because your ankles are underneath the bottom. So ease your ankles away, stretch out the legs. And of course, we've done a strong stretch in that direction. So we have to balance it up. So we'll do Supta Pavamukha. Remember, wind releasing posture. So stretch out the legs. And we're going to slide the right foot along. Inhale, slide right foot, and then gently clasp on the right knee. And ease the knee towards the torso. It doesn't matter if the head gets to the knee, but try and tuck your chin into your sternum. Wait for your natural pause. Inhale as you go down, exhale as you slide away. So it's right leg, both legs, left leg. Inhale as you slide both feet along. Exhale as you gently clasp at the knees and squeeze and look between the knees. Nice and slow. As I say, this is a wonderful exercise to do end of a day when you're a bit tired or stressed, or even first thing in the morning in bed before you even get out of bed. Supta Pavamuktasana. Lastly, left leg. Right leg, both legs, left leg. Exhale as we squeeze. So this is contracting the arms, stretching the back, squeezing on the inguinal nodes. And it's massaging the abdomen. That's why it's right leg, both legs, left leg. So just continue right, both and left at your own pace. Supta Pavamuktasana, the wind releasing posture. So wind in this case is blockages. It's releasing blockages in the body so energy can go through. Of course, the other form of wind can happen as well. Finish the round that you're on. Now we're going to put, in my case, I'm going to put my right foot on top of my left knee. So I know from experience, this is my tighter side. So I'm going to start with my tighter side, repeat the opposite side, and then finish with my tighter side. So I'm bending the left leg. And I'm taking my right foot and placing it on my left knee. And then I come up, and you can either clasp under the knee, we've done this many times, or over the knee, depending where you're at. And you just start to breathe and relax. So whatever foot you've put over whatever knee, you clasp under the knee or over the knee and start to breathe. If you have any problems, you just pause the video, have a wee look, and then get back to the practice. Some people say they can have an ache in their neck doing this. So if that's the case, you just gently lean back if you can and rest your neck. If you can't lean back but holding above the knee, then you hold under the knee, which allows you to lean back. You'll still get a stretch, but not as strong. A few more breaths. And then a quick athletic flip, whichever side you're on, and continue. And relax and do it. Remember, there's a big difference between unhealthy pain and healthy pain. Only you can distinguish the difference. So if you're stretching a muscle that hasn't been used for a while, it may feel a little bit uncomfortable. That's healthy pain. If you've damaged a muscle and you're pushing it too far, that's unhealthy pain. Slow, smooth, deep, full yogic breath with natural pause. And then when you're ready, finish with the side that was the tightest, and this will help to bring parity back. And smile. Gently release. Soles of the feet on the ground. Stretch out. Palms down the side of the body. We're going to do the boats, but just allow the body to breathe naturally for a few moments. And try and sense what's happening. Is there warmth? Are you aching? Any tingling? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? And you decide if this posture is for you. I believe there are 72,000, so there's plenty to choose from. If you pick the postures that work for you initially, then you're more likely to continue the practice instead of forcing yourself into positions your body doesn't want to go. So align with the legs straight, the feet are not floppy. You've got the toes pointing directly upwards. And we're just going to inhale and stretch away with the hands and point away with the toes. We're not lifting. Inhale, stretch and point, and relax. So you may get a lift, but you're not trying to lift the limbs. We're inhaling, the palms are on the ground, we're pointing through the toes, we're contracting, and relaxing as you exhale. You can take a comfort breath in between each movement. So inhale as we stretch away. Point with the toes, and you can feel the muscles contracting. You can feel the arms stretching. And relax. If you want to make it a bit more sterner, we inhale as we lift our arms slightly off the ground. We look towards our toes and we lift our legs off the ground a couple inches. If you have lower back problems, you don't lift the legs off the ground, you keep them. So we inhale, lift up, look towards your toes, take the hands just to the side of the legs and lift the feet a few inches off the ground. Generally just enough to clear the calf muscles. So you're not lifting the legs away up. That doesn't add to any, that isn't beneficial in any way. But you don't lift the legs if you have lower back problems. And then slowly exhale as you lower down. Take a few comfort breaths. And just repeat as many rounds as required. Inhale and look towards your toes. Raise the hands up level with the legs. And ankles just off the ground far enough to clear the calf muscles. If you start to shake and wobble, then it means you've done too many, or it's too hard for you at present. Usually shaking and wobbling means you've exhausted the primary muscles, and then the secondary muscles have to take over, and they are not fit for purpose. A couple more. And try and be controlled as you lower down. Again, if you want to make it a little bit harder, we're going to screw up our face and we're going to form fists and we're going to contract everything as we come up. So the very same movement, but we're screwing up we're inhaling, holding the breath, screwing up the face, hands into fists. Inhale as we come up, look and screw and contract. It's very strong. And this just sends blood and lymph energy all through the areas that we've released, and then gently lower down. And take a few slow, deep breaths to wash away the metabolic waste from the contracted muscles. So a couple more in your own time. Inhale, screw up the face, fists up you come, contract, hold. And lower down. This is the only posture that I say screw up your face. Normally your face should be totally relaxed because it's not involved in the movement. One more. If you're out of breath, then you've done enough. Allow the body to breathe naturally. Now we're going to sit up. So you can sit up by lying onto your side, rolling onto your side and pushing up. You can slip your hands behind your lower back and push up, or you can come up with a balancing board, which means this time you do raise the feet higher than a few inches off the ground. So you inhale as you look towards your toes, raise the legs higher, and you come up to your hands, level with your knees, the balancing board. It's not for everyone. It's very strong in the thighs and abdominals, obviously. It's something to aim for. And you tip forward. So now we're going to go into any comfortable sitting position. For me, it's always Vajrasana. This is my default position. But it can be sitting in a chair, it could be sitting in Sukhasana, the easy cross-leg position. Remember, you have the option of sticking some cushions under your ankles or between your ankles and your seat. This is a wonderful position to sit. It keeps the spine straight. And it loosens up the ankles, the feet, the knees. So we're going to do the Kiran breath. And send love either to yourself or someone that you do love or someone that you dislike. So you decide who needs it most today. So it's a very simple movement. We've done this many times, but we're going to take our left hand and put it into the Hridaya mudra, which is a heart mudra. So remember, we take the thumb and the first finger, we curl it around into the root of the thumb. And then you're left with the next two fingers and you just touch the thumb onto the next two fingers. So I'll show that again. The first finger next to the thumb, turn it around gently into the root of the thumb. And then you just take the thumb and touch the next tip of the two fingers. Hridaya mudra. So mudra is just a position. It's usually the hands you put into to change your consciousness and energy within the body. Again, you can read up on all these things at your leisure. And we just relax that hand and the knee. So this is the Kiran breath. So we have the heart mudra. So before you start, decide, there's nothing wrong with sending love to yourself. Or maybe someone spontaneously will come into your mind that you do love to send love to. They're going through a challenging time. Or maybe you've been struggling with someone and perhaps they need some love too. Or maybe you need to release yourself from perhaps the animosity you've been sending them. So you decide. So we're going to inhale as we raise the right hand up. And then exhale as we take our right hand over into the heart and we turn our head to the left, keeping the neck long, keeping the chin parallel to the ground. You can take a couple of breaths or you can just immediately inhale as you raise the right hand back up, head forward. Exhale as you lower down, and that's it. This is very powerful, or I think it is. So I'll talk you through one more round and then you continue at your own pace. So you're sitting tall. You've got on the Hridaya mudra, the heart mudra. You're sending love. Inhale as you raise the right hand. Wait for your pause. Exhale as you take the hand onto the heart, as you turn your head to the left, trying to keep your neck long, trying to keep your chin parallel to the ground. Wait for your pause. Inhale as you come back, raise a hand up in the air. Exhale down. So I'll leave you in peace for a few rounds, but if you can always have a wee look if you're not sure. One more after the one that you're on. Remember, you cannot pour love on others without spilling a few drops on yourself. That's equally true for animosity. So how do we think about that? The camel. Okay. So we come up, we turn around on our mat, the camel. Remember, we're going to lean back and touch our ankles. So the easiest camel is you tuck the toes under, which raises the heels up, which gives shorter distance to find your ankles. So we'll just have a wee check to begin with. So tuck the toes under. Inhale as you stretch out the arms, and just check as you turn around with your right hand, you can easily touch your right heel. In fact, so stay in that position and just take 3 breaths. So inhale as you stretch up with your left arm, and then soften through as you're pushing your pelvic area forward. Now remember, you're not leaning on your ankle. You're just touching it and you're keeping your core strength. A few stretches. And then inhale as you come out. And then we'll go left hand to left heel. So inhale as you turn around with your left hand to your left heel, with the toes upturned. Turn under. And then 3 breaths. So inhale and stretch up. Remember, we've already stretched all these intercostals with the previous postures and relax. So don't lean on the ankle. You're keeping your strength, your gluteals, your abdominals. We've worked on all of these. Inhale, stretch up. Gently push forward. And inhale as you come up. And we'll see if we can reach the left ankle with the right hand. So you inhale. Exhale as you go around. Left ankle should be there with the right hand. And again, you've got obviously a twist now. Inhale, stretch up, lift up, look up, and soften. And as I say, to come out, you've already kept your core strength, so it's a strong contraction for the thigh muscles and the gluteals. That's why we're doing these postures. So you contract them before you come out. Inhale as you come up. And exhale down. So now it's a left hand to the right heel. So these are warm-up ones because eventually you release the toes and it's a much stronger stretch, but we'll do these first. So we inhale, stretch out, and then exhale as we come around with the left hand on the right heel, through and up. And again, so the thighs should remain contracted, the abdominals, the gluteals. If you're leaning back and letting go, then there's not a contraction. And then to come up, it's the thigh muscles the gluteals and the abdominals, which get you up. Now, if you found those relatively comfortable, then you can try and do the left hand to the left heel and the right hand to the right heel. But remember, it's not getting into the posture, it's getting out. So if you found these relatively comfortable, or you can just continue one hand to each side. But if you want to try with the toes turned under, inhale, stretch out. You can do it two ways. You can go back with the left hand onto the left heel, which gives you a bit of confidence and security. Then you take the other one back, and you've got the camel with the toes turned under. You can put your head back if you wish. I'm not a fan of that. I like to keep forward. So you're inhaling. You're getting a stretch through the shoulders, the chest, a squeeze, the shoulder blades. You're gently pushing forward with the pelvis. It's a wonderful posture. So again, to come out, you can contract legs, buttocks, abdominals, and lift up completely with both hands at the same time, which is very strong. But you can be gentle in your body, come up with one hand, come up with another, and then lower down. So remember, this is with the toes tucked under. You can do the whole same process with the toes released, but it's a much stronger experience. And I wouldn't advise it until you're very comfortable with what you've done. And then equally, again, you can, instead of leaning back look, I'm leaning back now with the toes out. I've done this for years, I can do this, but to come out, this is very strong to lift up. So I'm deliberately showing you this. This is not something you try without being able to be comfortable in what I've just demonstrated. And eventually with that, then you can cross the hands as well and take opposite side going back. But you get the idea, camel, it's a wonderful, wonderful posture. From the camel, we'll go into a lunge with the foot outside the hand. So again, you try to make minimal movement between each posture so it flows. So now we're going to the cat position. I'm doing for time, yeah. We're going to take the right, so the hands are under the shoulders. Unless that's too strong for the wrists, you can move the fingers forward. The knees are hip width apart. You're taking your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Edge it forward to a comfortable position. Make sure you've got your width. And have a wee try. If you go forward, it feels okay. I can go a bit further forward with my foot. That's a better stretch. So you have three options, remember? We've done this before. You can have the hands flat on the ground like this. So you inhale as you come forward, come through, and you try to concave the back. Or you can come up on fists. You can have fists vertical, like so, or parallel, which changes the position of the shoulders. And you can come forward and through and up. Or the third choice is fingers. So remember, it's palms flat down, fists or fingers, which means you're higher up, which is easier for the back, and you get a deeper lunge. Now with the fingers, remembering, take the thumb directly under the thumb joint, which so it creates a post, which makes it more secure, less likely to damage the fingers. So you just edge forward and have a feel which one you feel in any particular day. And then you stay in the forward stretch and just start to breathe. And smile. And think of those flowers within reach, which is going to give you the best bouquet. Remember, it takes 6 seconds for muscles, tendons, ligaments to start to ease and release into the posture. This is why in yoga you should never be in a rush. You should never be in a rush in any walk of life. Remember, at any time, you have to keep the awareness for healthy pain against unhealthy pain. And then slowly come out of it. You can come right back, give that hamstring a stretch. Mine are very tight with cycling. Ooh. So this is an example for me of healthy pain. I'm coming back, it's very, very tight, but it's just because of cycling. So I can stay here a bit longer. And then when you're ready, change sides. A quick athletic flip, left side. Get comfortable, get your width. If you need more padding under your knee, then roll up your yoga mat. Have a trial go. If you don't feel anything's happening, then you move your foot slightly further forward, left foot outside of left hand. And you're back to deciding on this particular day, do you want to stretch with the palms flat? Or do you want fists, either horizontal or vertical? Or do you want fingers? So you try them out. Pick the appropriate one, and then ease your way into it. Relax, smile, and breathe. Very nice. And remember, with a smile, you're getting free serotonin. Happy hormones. Three more breaths. Of course, you could stay in this for long enough. Ease your way out. Release. We're going to go straight into downward facing dog. So we're in the cat position. Ease out with the feet and the knees. And we'll come up into downward facing dog. So you're pushing through the arms, lifting up through the hips, and softening through the heels. It doesn't matter if the heels got on the mat or not. Push through the arms, lift up through the hips, soften through the heels. You can release each knee if you want a stretch in the calf muscles. So just bend the right knee, you'll get a lovely stretch through the left, but try to keep the class of your downward facing dog. I'm speaking out of the microphone. Again, you can come up on the toes and lift each leg. I'm not doing that today, but in your own practice, you can introduce that. Push through the arms, lift up through the hips, soften through the heels. And then if you wish, you can come up on your toes, gently sweep through and up into upward facing dog. You've got the post with the arms, you relax through the shoulders are not up at the ears. You're smiling. You can stay in this position and breathe slowly and deeply. Get a stretch through the abdominal area. Or you can come in and out as you wish. When you've had enough, Then you go back up into downward facing dog, walk the feet forward into a forward bend. This is a wonderful workout. And if you think of the postures we've done previously, it warms up the whole body for this. When you feel you've had enough, downward facing dog, walk the feet forward and stay in a forward bend. As you exhale, pull the stomach back towards the spine. Relax the lower back, relax at the neck. When you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly unfurl. Stand tall, feet parallel. Without looking, try and sense that the feet are parallel. Someone is a thread, the center of your head. Gently easing your body upwards and smile. Just let the body calm down a little. Let it breathe naturally. And we'll just finish with the Vedic salutation. So remember, we're going to inhale, open our hands. Then it's namaste, stretch up, down, open, close hands. So we inhale as we just open the hands, that's all. Exhale, close. Inhale, open arms, gentle stretch out. In your own time, exhale, namaste. Inhale, stretch up. Namaste. Inhale, open arms. Remember, this is in your own time. Exhale, namaste. Exhale, sorry, down to the side. Inhale, open hands. Exhale, close. And perhaps you barely feel like moving. We'll do this once more. Although ordinarily, if I wasn't teaching, I wouldn't move. I don't feel like moving at all. Once more, inhale, open hands. Exhale, close. Inhale, open arms. Exhale, namaste. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, namaste. Inhale, open arms. Exhale, close. Inhale, open hands. Exhale, close. And then sit down in any comfortable position. Any comfortable position. I'm going to go back into Vajrasana. Keeps the back straight. Close your eyes and allow the body to breathe naturally. And reflect on your practice. So we started with today. Happiness is making a bouquet of those flowers within reach. Closing quote. Much happiness is overlooked because it doesn't cost anything. Much happiness is overlooked because it doesn't cost anything. A bit like a smile. That doesn't cost anything either. It makes you and others feel great. So with a smile and namaste, as always, thank you very much, with much love. Namaste.